one. Aloha, you're listening to the Rolling Vets podcast, a podcast by veterans for veterans and civilians alike. I am Luke Smoss, your co-host, and I am flanked by my Marine veteran peers, Aaron Potta, Chris Ellis, and our special guest, Jack Mahon. We would like to extend an invitation to you, the listener, to journey inside of our realm to discover what it means to be a rolling vet. Damn, that's the first time I fucking fucked that one up.
Son of a bitch.
But I'll keep it because it's authentic.
You did fine.
Yeah. Thank you, Jack. So, Jack, you're our first guest. You are our first guest, and then I'm going to cue the not the laugh track, the clap track, and then I will actually you're our first guest, and you also served with us in 3-3. So yeah, raw. So I definitely
communications.
Yeah, communication. So tell us a little bit about yourself right off the bat. Just like we talked about a little bit, like where you're from, and I really want to dig into like what was your path leading into the Marine Corps, like what was going on in your life at that time that led you to enlist.
Yeah, so me and my buddy who ended up going airborne in the Army, like it was sophomore year, and we had some really smart friends. I mean, these kids we hung out with were like getting 4.0s and stuff, and so they're obviously going to college. But me and my friend were like, we're not really digging this school thing right now. Like, I don't know about that. And we always had this connection. Like we just both decided that we wanted to join the military, and he wanted to go Army. And I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of feeling the Marine Corps. So that was my sophomore year, and so I started like. At that point, I decided I was like, I'm going to do it. It's just, I got to wait a couple of years. So I remember at one point, because obviously I wasn't even a pulley yet. And I bought like this green USMC sweatshirt, and I wore it to high school this one time. And there's this kid who comes up to me who he was a freshman, but he was my age. Cause I don't know, for some reason he was,
like held
I guess
back
maybe right at the cutoff or something. Maybe some weird situation, like he did double kindergarten or some weird thing. But so he's like, yeah, nice sweatshirt. I every week I go to the Mount Prospect, which is a town near where I live, the recruiting office, and I do workouts with them. And he's like, you want to come this Wednesday? I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out. So we show up. The recruiter throws me on the pull-up bar and everything. I could do 4 because I was like this chubby kid. Like I hadn't even started working out yet.
You were chubby?
You were chubby?
Yeah. No, I was.
No fucking way.
Yeah. No, I was. Yeah. That's the one of the great things that
you gotta send us. You gotta email a pic. Do you have a picture of you chubby?
Oh, I'm sure I could probably find one.
Oh, dude, you gotta find one. Email.
It wasn't bad. I might be overstating it.
I mean, okay.
But I was just really out of shape. I was like, I had a lot of excess, relative to now, I had a lot of excess body fat.
Could you run a marathon without stopping?
Hell no. I remember I started working out. I ran 2 miles at a snail's pace, and I was dead after that. And I remember some of the runs I was doing, when I was still in, I remember thinking back to that, like, I didn't think I'd ever be doing these crazy runs back when I first started running.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So explain that a little deeper. Go into what your PT routine was during the week, when you were like a corporal.
Yeah, because that's why we are so surprised, Aaron, and you'll understand because this dude was fucking. He was almost insane. Like,
yeah. I ran PT for a section, and I let Mahon do his own thing. And Mahon, go ahead and explain.
All right. So what I used to do was every single day I would wake up at 4 a.m. and I would just run basically until it was time to go to work.
That's
like I'd put on my shoes. I'd wake up at like 4 a.m. I'd put on my shoes and I would just run around the base for hours.
Fucking Forrest Gump.
And I'd watch the sun go up every day while I was running. This same thing in Okinawa. Every single day when I had the opportunity, if we weren't doing like a hike or anything like that. And some of these totals I was getting, I think at one point, sometimes I would do that twice a day. Like maybe a 15-mile run, and then later in the day, like another 8-miler. So on some days, I was clocking like marathons in 2 sittings. So that was basically every day. I would run the equivalent of a marathon, but not in one sitting.
And
like I do the majority in the morning, and then I just catch up later in the day, maybe with like a 8-miler or like a 5 and a 3.
Fuck that, dude. And like you're running on Marine Corps bases, right? So like no headphones, no music, like you're just running.
Just Forrest Gump in it, dude. Straight up.
Dude, what?
Oh, no, what I used to do actually was so I right before our first time going to Okinawa, because we were on obviously the same schedule for all that.
Yep.
Our first time going to Okinawa, about a couple weeks before that, probably, I discovered the Joe Rogan podcast, and that really got me into podcasts. So what I used to do was, there's always a loophole in the system. You can still listen to stuff in uniform. You just got to carry your phone during the run, and just put it on your speakers.
Yeah.
And that was fine for me because it's almost like better having that weight while you're running. I had the phone going, so I just be listening to podcasts doing it. But you say like how running on bases sucks. I think the opposite. Like when we were at ITX, I remember at first I would run it like the helipad, just endless laps. And then I was like, yeah, this is getting really terrible. Like,
yeah,
I love running, but like.
So you said ITX, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so ITX is in the middle of the desert in 29 Palms, California.
Yeah,
like, I don't think it was hot when we were there, though, was it?
No, it was fucking.
No, it was
cold.
the exact
Fucking
opposite.
snowed on us.
Oh, let me talk on that.
the
Let me talk on the snow. So, what I was saying was, I used to. You guys know where Anarchy Rock is? You probably know from the schoolhouse.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah,
I remember from. Yeah, it's like a calm thing, Aaron. You fucking
fucking
punk.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna leave now. Let you guys have your little calm bromance, and I'll see you back.
Anarchy
in
Rock.
Our calm circle jerk.
You know where the front gate is?
29 Palms?
Yeah, on the main
when
side.
you drove through on the buses to get there?
Yeah. Basically parallel to that, there's a mountain. Like how even at Camp Wilson, there's mountains out in the distance.
Yeah.
It's a little bit closer in towards main side than it is like the mountains at Camp Wilson, how they're further back.
Okay.
But basically parallel to the front gate.
Yeah,
right in the back of staff housing. There was a decent sized, more like a hill. It wasn't like a mountain, but you'd run up and you run kind of like through this little dugout path in the mountain, and all the way back by the front gate. At the top of this thing, there was this rock with the anarchy symbol, the circle with the A through it. And that was like that was for when we were in the schoolhouse, that was like a thing, they take you on runs up there and stuff.
Oh,
so I would run from Camp Wilson to Anarchy Rock and then back to Camp Wilson.
Okay. I never left Camp Wilson. I left it once to go to main side, and then every other time we were just, doing ops.
You got a free camera, didn't you? From main
side? Yeah, I did. She just didn't charge me for it. I was like, well,
the most expensive thing out of your entire fucking like load.
Yeah, and she just didn't scan it or something, or maybe she scanned it and like pressed back on it. I don't know.
Yeah, that was funny. You're just like, dude, I think I got this camera for free, and I was like, what? Because that's when they were on that fucking no cell phone bullshit. Remember that?
Yeah. So no cell phone. The only way to take pictures was like through a camera, and it was like silver, right? And it's like, oh, you're not taking that. It's not tactical. So he fucking had me spray paint the camera. I still have it actually. I downloaded all the pictures while I was in Michigan, and I like one of the pictures I took was of the morning, like my canteen, like frozen, like there was like icicles growing in the rim of the fucking canteen. I was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, that ITX
covered in ice
sucked. Yeah. I mean, those last couple of days in the final exercise, whatever the fuck they call them. I mean, I think ITX, like, we got to do a lot of cool shit.
Yeah,
like a lot of the best fucking training out there.
Who was the military we were training with out there?
It was the Royal
British
Marines.
Royal Marines.
The British Royal Marines.
Those
I
guys
still have
are
a
cool.
jacket. I have the jacket.
Oh, dude, I have a bunch.
You want to bring it down? I just brought it over.
Your jacket? Did you?
Yeah.
You managed to get one, right?
I got a jacket.
I got my little beanie thing. What the fuck is called?
Oh, the beret.
The beret?
Yeah, I have a beret right over here.
Jack, did you get anything? Did you trade anything?
Not with them, but I remember. You remember Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Yeah, he traded a bunch of stuff with them, and there's this picture of him. He's got like their shorts on, they're more like capris. He's got those on. Yeah. He's got like he had like just a mix and match of all their different uniform items. It is the most ridiculous looking picture, but it's so funny. Yeah. I'm sure Ellis has it somewhere. He's got to send that to you.
That's fucking funny. Yeah, I found like their combat jacket. I found that at the chow hall. It was just sitting there. And I looked around like asking like people like, hey, like, does anyone knows whose jacket this is? And they're like, no. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to keep it. And it had a lieutenant's rank on it and everything. So
that is dope.
Yeah. So I fucking kept the jacket and it fits me perfectly too. And I mean, I never fucking wear it because like, when the fuck am I going to go out like and wear this shit?
That would be so funny if they found out that you took it and they went and like approached you at your food like, oi bruv, back the jacket.
Exactly.
I got the same shit you got, Potter. I found this one.
Yeah, so I got the heavy one, the rain one, and then I got the other one.
I have the Royal Marines and I have the Royal Navy blouse too.
Oh, no. From Australia? Did you have to get that one in Australia?
No, I had that one in ITX.
ITX, yeah.
The Royal Navy, huh? Yeah, I fucking.
There's only like one or two like Royal Navy there.
Oh, okay.
And I got drunk with this fucking Royal Marine at the bar.
Right on.
And me and him were just like pounding beer, trying to outdrink each other. And I have a stack
one
of
day
cups,
we could
like,
drink, right?
I have a picture of like Hanson with a stack of cups like this big in front of his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one day we were allowed to drink, right?
Yeah.
The one day.
One day.
They gave you like 2 warm cups
they said
of
2,
Bud Light. And...
Yeah, they said that.
Well, some crafty
side.
folks definitely got more than 2. Yeah.
I went to main side. I was at the E Club.
Oh, you motherfucker!
That's some bullshit, man.
You're spoiled motherfucker.
I had to go to main side, and I have him on Facebook still and everything, and he's fucking cool as shit. But yeah, his buddy was a Royal Marine or a Royal Navy, and I was like, dude, I want that blouse.
Dude, so actually, funny story. I ran into when we were all in comm school, and Aaron was in ITB. I met the Royal Marines that were in 29 Palms at that time. And I was talking to him. We're right about to get our haircuts, like fucking long ass lines and fucking main side. Fucking dude, that shit sucked.
I cut hair, so
yeah. So Lupercio started cutting my hair after that. But this was when we were like first there. And I ran into a Royal Marine and he was telling me this funny story how like they almost weren't allowed back that year in 2017, I think. Or 2016, that would have been 2016.
Would have been late 2016.
Yeah, late 2016. Because of the fact that they like the last time they were there, somebody like went out in like Palm Springs or something. One of their guys like went out, party too hard, and woke up handcuffed to a dead hooker. And and then he was telling me the story and like just grave detail. I didn't know whether he was bullshitting me or not, but it was the funniest fucking thing. And then when we were back there, in February of that, what was that, 2019, I ran into the same dude. He was still in.
That's
ran into the same Marine, and I was like, dude, you told me this fucking story, blah blah blah. And he was like, holy shit. He's like, how did you remember that? Like, he's like, you got a great memory. And I was like, yeah, dude, it was fucking wild. Like,
fucking man. Yo, didn't you have like some random Korean guy you were friends with? We were in Korea.
Oh, sort of. We used to just trade MREs mainly because I love their MREs.
Yeah. You.
I mean, there was only what, like
me and this guy. Like, I would bring him a new menu item every. I'd try to be, somewhat. I try to get him the decent ones.
Yeah.
And try to get him a different one just to change it up. And oh my god, I love that kimchi.
Dude, their kimchi and that shit was really good. It was really good. But there's only two.
Would pop up on into the fucking like bleachers and like show up and like, look what I got. You thought it's like Korean Marie, and I'm like, that's fucking disgusting.
I had like 8 of those things saved up when we left there, and I tried to bring them on the plane, and they're like, dude, you can't bring this on a plane. Like, there's heaters
because of the heaters.
Like,
you motherfucker.
All right,
I gave him my Aussie MRE, and I was like, all I want is the bag back. That's all I wanted. And he fucking.
I would have given you the bag if they didn't confiscate it.
But fuck you.
There was only 2 flavors for the Korean MREs, right? Just 2 different ones.
Yeah. And the only thing that changed in the different menus was like the sauce they put on those little sausages.
Yeah, and
that was the only difference. Was a different sauce.
And the chocolate was a little different between the 2 as well. Like one of them had like knockoff M&Ms, and the other one was like this bar.
Oh, right. But they both came with that, was it like almond bread or something?
Yeah, dude, that was good.
So good.
Dude, I
Honestly-
remember when we were trading the MREs with them. I think Indian Company went on the base for that day, and most of those kids have never watched porn before. And so we had all the machine gunners and fucking all the weapons guys that were out there like showing all these Korean guys porn for the first time on the cell phone.
That is hilarious. I never knew that.
Pizza guy, wrong address.
Dude, that's insane. I remember towards the end when we were leaving Korea, they got pretty smart about it too. They'd ask for like, oh, we want MRE number 27 or MRE number 13. And they'd only be asking for the specific numbers. They caught on real quick.
Yeah, they got smart. You'd be trying to dump all the bad ones on them, and they're like, they're trying to dump the bad ones on us.
Yeah. The beef
like, I gotta get that,
or whatever.
That,
like, no, we don't want that.
They're like, I gotta get that menu number 1, that beef chili.
Yeah, the chili mac. Yeah.
Yeah, chili mac.
No, I was like,
pretty
that was
solid.
no, there was literally just chili.
Chili with beans.
Chili with beans.
Chili with beans.
Chili with beans was one. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It was 9.
9 was chili mac.
No, number 1 was
chili mac. No,
chili mac.
Yeah,
not
9's chili
Nine was
mac.
beef stew. 9 was beef stew, man.
Well, oh,
maybe.
Which one was chili
We're on
mac?
here arguing about
6?
fucking MREs.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, none of us are
I
fucking
saw
looking it up.
that
There's
shadow
some good
box
ones.
in the back. You mind showing us what you got there? I see a Korean
I just
flag.
got like I just got a few patches I traded, my boot ass stack, and picture of actually a picture of me with those Koreans we befriended.
Show the camera, man.
And then there's there's like a unit patch, and there's my first PTA rock on the bottom. Under the EGA.
So it's bad luck. Bad luck to take a rock from the island.
Yeah.
No, it's a PTA rock. I had to take it. I remember. You guys remember that stupid tradition, right?
Yeah, actually. So the funny story. I did that with these kids when I was at the camp this summer or last summer, at the YMCA camp, and I was a counselor for. I think that I did like safety stuff for the most part, and that last week they let me be a counselor. So I had a group of kids, and they were about like 7, I think 8 years old, and they kept fucking throwing rocks at each other. So I was like, all right, motherfuckers. I was like, you guys want to play stupid games? You're gonna win stupid prizes. So I would make them carry a rock. And I was like, you get to carry a rock. And if I gotta ask for this rock at any time, any place, you better show me the rock or you're gonna get a fucking bigger rock. And they were like, okay, like right about it. Dude, I had these fucking kids carry around some big ass rocks, bro. I'm surprised they get like child abuse or some shit.
No, I remember they made it a big deal. Like we got pulled aside our whole platoon, and they're like, guys, I just
fucking rocks right now.
CO saying that these rocks are secured. There's no more rocks.
Yeah.
No more giving rocks to people. They're like, we're gonna get hit for hazing. You gotta stop doing it. Because you'd see these grunts just walking around just super sad. They'd have like just giant rocks in their packs. And I'm sure their NCOs or some of their staff NCOs are wondering, like, why is this guy always falling out from hikes? Well, probably because he has a 30-pound rock in his pack in addition to all those.
I got a funny story about rocks. I got a really funny story about rocks. This is back before I met you, Moss. First PTA, I was like, I heard the horror stories. So like Conrad, you remember Conrad, right?
Oh yeah, what a fucking shitbag.
Dude, apparently he had his rock taken so many times, he had to like for his hikes, he wouldn't have any of his gear. The entire like half of the main pack would just be a giant fucking rock every time. And maybe he'd take his whoopee and some other shit like that. But like that was it. So like I was hearing this shit from Flood. And I was like, fuck no, I'm not going to do that. That's not going to be me. I took this little fucking rock, the first one I had, I taped it up with electrical tape on a piece of 550 cord. I put that and like taped that to the inside of my fucking pants. I was like, this shit ain't going anywhere.
No, that's what I did too. And that's why I'm proud of the fact that it can fit in a shadow box.
Dude, that's 10 years bad luck. I don't fuck with that shit.
So we ended up going to PTA only twice, right? Twice. Jack, were you were there both times?
Yeah, I was there both times.
You remember when
the second time?
Yeah, you remember fucking Goody wrote the dick on the receipt?
Yeah, and then we go back the second time and there's a sign in the place.
Wasn't it fucking?
I think I have it. I actually have the picture of
No,
sign.
it was Goody. It was Goody. 100% Goody wrote a dick on the receipt at the only Domino's within a 100-mile radius on the base on PTA, which is on the Big Island, Pahuga Kaloa training area. And
spent way too much money on the Domino's.
Yeah, and he was like, hey, sign the receipt. He just drew a dick on it. And she was like so offended by it. She like went straight to the fucking CP and like report it to anyone who would fucking hear her. And it started this huge shitstorm because you had a clash of a master sergeant and a first sergeant that were fucking just going at it because of this whole thing. And then the fact that he ended up getting demoted. He got demoted for it, which was stupid because a lawyer, a JAG, literally told him like, hey, if you take this to trial, like we will win because of the fact that you have the right to write whatever the fuck you want on it. You have freedom of speech. And I think he decided not to. And then he got fucking demoted.
That's the stupidest thing, dude. Like,
yeah,
like it's his signature. I'm sorry it offended you. Like, what the fuck?
I'm sorry my fucking hand-drawn cock, did not offended you.
Christ, dude. It's like, I'm not saying that you're a dick. I'm just fucking signing the receipt. Goddamn.
Or that I want to give you the dick. It's just the fact that, it's just this. I thought it was fucking funny because I'm an immature Marine, Dude,
that's so, and like, I'm not gonna get into it, but there's a lot of stupid shit like that I just don't understand. It's like, and it's good that he had a JAG lawyer like tell him like, hey, we can fight this. A lot of the time people are like, oh, well, hire like, this first sergeant's telling me I have to do this. I guess I got to do it.
Yeah.
Like when I was first got into ITB, there was guys, we'd finally been able to grow out our hair. We'd been bald for however long, like boom, like, what, we finally have our control.
Stupid ass high tights after that.
Dude, so people would come in with hard parts, right? And this first sergeant over there wasn't having any of it. Like he was just complete fucking like asshole. He's like, no, that's eccentric. Everybody who has a hard part, line them up. I'm going to give them all a 6105 and an NJP. And that's how you're going to start your Marine Corps career right there.
I love it. I love that line. I loved hearing that line. This is how you're going to fucking start your career.
Yeah.
This is how you're going to start your fucking career.
It's like, dude. And then they were like, actually, according to the DOD, you have your EGA, but you're not considered Marines yet until you've been in for like 6 months or some shit like that. I was like, are you kidding me, dude?
Lies.
Like, what the fuck? And like, young impressionable Marines were just like, dude, this is such bullshit.
They tell you you're not considered Marines until you earn that EGA, but technically you are considered a Marine from day one. Yeah. Little loophole there.
You know the funny thing about those staff NCOs is they think that the junior Marines that they're scolding are the problem. Like they think they're the reason why the Marine Corps is like losing motivation and stuff.
Yeah.
When they're the ones that
it's like they don't understand that they are literally the ones who are causing that, and that's why people are leaving in droves. Like good people are leaving in droves.
Yeah, like all of us. Shit. Like every single one of us. I mean, I wouldn't say I was the fucking best Marine, but like I mean, that was one of
you were good at your job. You were just you liked to party.
Yeah. I was a child. I was a grown child.
No, yeah, you were fucking good at your job, but I gotta tell a story how I first met you.
Is it when I slept on your floor?
No.
Oh.
So
that's another story we gotta tell.
I get like 5:30 PT because I'm a boot and I gotta go to I can't. And you're like doing your own thing because you're in the infantry battalion and all that, or infantry company. I'm sorry. But I obviously had to go to PT. So I get done with PT and I'm living with Weiss at the time. And
we got to get him on here too.
This guy, that dude was something else. I mean, true anomaly in a good way.
In a good way. I was about to ask in a good way.
And an amazing roommate. But I show up back from PT this one morning and the door to the bathroom just cracked open. And I'm like, that's weird. Weiss usually shuts the door and like that doesn't seem like something he would do. Why does it smell like shit in here?
Oh no.
So I go and I just go sit down by my desk and I'm checking my phone, waiting to use the shower and all that. And you come walking out and I had never seen you before in my life. And I'm like, what have you done with Weiss? I'm thinking like, what is going on right now? Am I being punked? But then you're the first to speak and you're like, oh, hey, what's going on? You're the new guy or something like that. Like, yeah, how you doing? Like, we introduce each other. And you're like, yeah, sorry, Modelo and tacos last night. So that was a pretty miserable shower. When the steam started coming in, all that stench got picked up.
Oh my god.
Dude, you're lucky you didn't have fucking Moss just curled up in your bed or some shit. Like I came back a couple times.
I got that in Okinawa.
He fucking curled up in a ball in my bed. I'd be like, what the fuck?
No, I got that in Okinawa. In fact, Ellis used to Ellis kind of made my room in Okinawa. Me and Perez, he kind of made our room like the honorary party room.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I was over there.
E-Leave.
I was over there for sure.
Yeah. I went back on E-Leave, you know, when we first started our first time in Okinawa. I get back, my bed's broken. And it's just a complete pigsty because like Perez never cleans.
Beer cans everywhere, bro.
Perez.
We got yelled at, dude, because there was like at one point
that guy.
There's like 100 beer cans in fucking that room, and you're not allowed to have more than like 12 beers total in your fucking room,
like per person. For like if you're like an NCO.
Yeah.
And then did that happen? Did that happen when you were there, man, or were you gone?
Oh no. So yeah, this is a whole different time. So Tejas used to just, you know, he'd buy me and Perez beer because we like to drink beer. We were underage. So Tejas was like, yeah, for sure.
It's right.
It's not like we're airing the show or
criminal.
You know? Yeah.
And you know the thing what my dumbass, I left my room key home when I was on E-Leave. And I didn't want to go on up to the fact that I lost my key. So I'm like, you know what, Perez? I'm just gonna tape the latch on the door. No one will notice. We'll be good. So you could just push it in.
Yeah.
And it didn't. It looked like it was locked if you closed it all the way.
Yeah, I did that. I did that with my room too sometimes.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a problem if me and Perez were of age. But this one time, you know, it was probably a Monday, so we still had beers in there and beer bottles left over from the weekend. Because that's the other thing is, since we were underage, we were like always super careful about when we would bring our bottles out and stuff. Yeah. Usually we'd hand them off to like Tejas or something and go bring them out. But someone, I think the duty, or no, it must have been like the officer on duty or something, but he goes and he pushes the door in. I don't know how he noticed. Maybe it was just
fucking
out
blind
a little
luck.
bit from the tape. Yeah. So he opens up the door and he sees all this stuff and he looks on the placard, and I guess there's a reason why you're supposed to put your age on the placard.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, there's 2 19-year-old kids living here. Great. So he goes and tells our platoon. And then Ellis, you remember Margia?
Were you guys all getting yelled at on the way up the stairs? Or
no, so he pulls us out. Margia, he pulls us out. Me and Perez, and I knew what it was about already.
Yeah. Like
I had already connected all the dots. I was like, I know exactly what this is. Just gonna grin and bear it. So he's like, get your asses back to the fucking barracks right now. And he still didn't tell us what it was about. At least from what I remember. So he sends us back, and Staff Sergeant Martinez is waiting inside.
Oh.
And also, Moctezuma. They tore 2 former DIs, and we were boot as hell. And they tore us a new one. Like I remember Perez went to attention. He literally went to attention. He thought he was back in boot camp. And I was standing there at parade rest, just like, because I could put on a poker face.
Yeah.
You know, that was my thing. But Perez, he was like going full recruit. At one point, he said like, "I sir, I ma'am," and I was just, I wouldn't say
words.
Shit.
They bounce off me. They don't. I'm not hearing anything. It doesn't hurt.
No, I'm sure he probably has PTSD from that, to be honest. That was very traumatic.
It looked like his PTSD was triggered from that. That's so fucking funny. It's such a funny
Perez.
Story.
All right, sorry. I don't remember this guy.
Looked like Speedy Gonzalez, little short Hispanic dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
guy.
I never actually
street
raced together and shit.
Your complexion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roughly your complexion.
Yeah.
He's pretty dark for Hispanic.
Yeah. He's fucking really dark. Yeah. Too dark to have on the show. Just kidding.
I guess I'll get off too then. Shit.
Yeah. Perez is fucking cool. He was always down to do the stupidest shit.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, and wasn't Ellis your boss at one point? Wasn't there a time where he was your sergeant? Is that accurate?
Oh yeah, no, he was. Well, the thing is, he was always like one step ahead of me the whole way. Like when I was a PFC, he was a Lance. When we were both Lances, he was a senior Lance. You know, because we didn't play that as much as the infantry do, but it's still a thing. Like it's unspoken, but it's a thing.
Yeah. How was that? How was being underneath his wing?
It was fine. We pretty much we didn't really butt heads until I started to get really salty. The fact that I was still a Lance and like literally my entire peer group, even that one kid who Ellis, I'm talking about, even when he picked up over me, that's when I started to get just really salty. I'm like, I'm not listening to these fucks. Yeah. But still, Ellis was the only one I listened to. Like you and Lindquist and stuff.
Yeah, I always kept it real with my Marines. That's one thing. Like
those are the people I listen to. But honestly, I was so I don't know how I didn't get like some serious paperwork. I guess that was just the fact that like, I was kind of like boys with most of my corporals when I was still a Lance, and they were all NCO. Yeah. But
so let's hear the dark side of Ellis. Like is there any any moment that you had under Ellis where you were just like
fuck this motherfucker, like
it's just mostly when he was not drinking is very subdued. Yeah. When you had a few drinks in this guy, he would make you very anxious. Like, so you guys were talking about Mindy's in one of these podcasts.
Oh yeah, Mindy's. I don't think I ever had the pleasure of going.
Oh yeah, God. The debauchery that went on there was unparalleled. So this guy literally in 3 hours he racked up 33 drinks on his tab.
33. No, I did 33 shots.
Raw.
Oh right, okay. So more than that. And you got to understand that like most people, they'd be probably blacked out at that point. No, he was like me after a few beers, and he was still somehow able to function. But when we all left Mindy's that night, I remember Ferguson comes up to me and he's like, "Yo,
Fergie,
take his ass to McDonald's. There's a McDonald's like literally 3 businesses down. Take him to McDonald's, get him some food, sober him up. Like the bus comes in like 3 hours." Like, good to go. I'll do that. So we take him to McDonald's. He gets his food. He sits down and he tucks into a burger, takes a few bites. And I'm like, all right, good. He's going to have some food in him. He's going to be nice and sober. We'll get him back to the bus just fine. We'll have to leave a little early because there's no way he's running.
Yeah.
But at one point, he just drops his burger. He gets like this deer in the headlights look in his face. I realize he's looking out the back window. And then he just stands up and he runs out the back door. So I run after him, but this guy could sprint way faster than me. So he was out of there. I like by the time I reached the street, I couldn't even see him. Like I'm looking both ways. I don't see him. Great. Ellis is completely lost in Korea. Like completely shit-faced.
I've never heard this one.
Yeah. So I spend the next hour looking for him, just praying to God that no one over the rank of sergeant or greater comes up to me and asks where Ellis is, because everyone knew like I was the designated sober one, and Ellis obviously was not. And the thing is, I had a few beers at Mindy's. Obviously. I was like, I'm not gonna not drink. I'm like, I know there's sergeants and stuff here who could potentially rat me out for drinking because they know I'm the sober one. But I'm like, the stuff they're doing, I have way more on them than they have on me. Yeah. So I was just sitting there having a few beers, and obviously I'm the sober one. No one cares though. So I'm pretty buzzed actually. So on top of this, I'm buzzed and I'm trying to figure out where he is in a place I had no idea what was happening, where anything was. So like an hour later, I'm going off like tips. Like I'd run into people on the street. I'd be like, "You seen Ellis?" And they'd be like, "No, but I think he saw him." So I'd be like trying to connect these dots. Like, "Oh yeah, he's over there, and I think he saw Ellis." So I'd have to go to this bar and talk to this guy. It was like straight up out of a movie. Like I'd be talking to one guy, and they'd be like, "No, you got to talk to him." Be like, "All right, where's he at?"
like an RPG.
I felt like a detective. I felt like it was like L.A. Noire. So finally, it's like, "Oh, Ellis? Yeah, no, he's over at the Mexican place eating tacos with Perez." So I go over there and they're just eating Mexican food with like the biggest smiles on their face, like not even talking to each other. And when I see them, they're like, "Yo, what's up, man?" Like, no, not a care in the world. I'm like, you realize the bus leaves in probably 45 minutes, right? And it takes us 15 minutes to get back to Mindy's.
Yeah.
So I have to like drag them out of this place. They got their little leftover boxes before they left. So on top of this, they're carrying like half a burrito in their hands that they're like, they're not letting go of that burrito. So finally we get back to Mindy's, and there's just Gunny O'Connell's there with just a bunch of frantic NCOs around him.
Yeah.
And Gunny O'Connell is just blasting everybody because there's people that are unaccounted for that aren't at the bus.
Yeah.
He's like, the bus leaves in 45 minutes. So we walk over there like mid blast, and then he just tears us a new one. He's like, get your fucking asses to the bus right now. That shit's leaving in like 20 minutes. So we're like, shit. Like, it's a 30-minute walk. Like, you have to run.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, like I'm just running. I'm running with Frizzell, and we could run. I mean, we're like lanky people. Like we never had any problem running.
Got
even
strides.
after a
Yeah,
few
I got
drinks.
strides.
Yeah, and you know we could run distances too. So it's a 3-mile run back. I'm like, oh, I can easily do this. And it was like the scene of Forrest Gump, like when he's running through the forest and he like makes it to the end. He's like, all right, I'm good. And he's like, where's everybody else? That was like me when I got to the bus. I was like, my entire group is like somewhere back there. Like,
so I remember that part now.
can't.
So we're in this alley where Mindy's is at, and Gunny O'Connell's sitting there. He's like, get the fuck to the bus. He's yelling on us, and we're like, good to go, Gunny Sergeant. We take off running and shit. Well, man, and fucking Frizzell is gone. And
Good to go, Gunny.
Yeah, it's me. It's Ferguson. It's that staff sergeant. You said his name. Who blasted you, man? What?
Margia.
Yeah, Murguia and Perez, and we're all running back, and we're fucking sloshed, dude. Like I'm like can't fucking see straight, and we're running, and fucking this little fucking Korean guy comes out of this fucking store, and Perez Spartan kicks this motherfucker while we're mid running, knocks this dude down, and just everybody just acts like nothing happened, and we just keep running.
That's why they hate Americans.
We're like, we can't fucking stop.
The Korean guy Spartan kicks one of the guys running?
No.
JP was running, and this Korean guy came out, and JP didn't even try to dodge him. He just
it was like the Antonio Brown, like the Antonio Brown where he kicked the punter in the face. Yeah,
punter. Yeah,
doesn't miss a step, keeps going.
Keeps going. Oh god, I passed Skaggs like halfway through. Skaggs is like can't even lift his head up.
Doing like the Naruto run.
He's fucking he's running, but he just can't. He's so drunk, can't lift his head up. He's like, see you later, Ellis. Oh god, I remember running back. As I was running, I like sobered up, and it was like running past just more drunk people, just dodging them, like fucking like sitting down, puking and shit. Fucking, it was great. I think at the end, and Man's there, just on the bus, like, hey guys. Like,
yeah, I'm just sitting there chilling. I'm like wiping the sweat off still, just recovering. Did you remember the bus ride back though? You remember a certain corporal's last name starts with D? U-R.
Fucking
something
dirt
like
guy.
that. Yeah. He was drunk, like absolutely like blackout drunk shit, like talking airing his grievances out to Sergeant Charisma. Just airing his grievances. And the whole ride back, but Sergeant. What about this? You gotta let the corporals be corporals, Sergeant. Like fully serious. And Sergeant Charisma was like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're drunk. Stop. You're gonna regret this conversation later if you can even remember it.
Yeah.
And he gets off the bus and just yaks his little heart out. And we got in trouble for that, but man, that was a rough night for him.
Yeah, you hear that, Aaron? That's what they got to do in Korea.
That's what I was about to say. Like,
what did we get to do in Korea?
Did you get there? Like, the only reason why we were even able to get Liberty in Seoul was because of
we paid for the buses ourselves.
Because of a fucking amazing Lieutenant Reed.
Yeah.
Foots the entire bill for these charter buses. Yeah. It was like at least $4,000 or some shit like that. Yeah. He's like, yeah, here's $4,000. Here you go. Or no, maybe it was like 8. It was somewhere around there. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean,
like,
I chipped in. We all were like Venmoing him and shit.
Yeah. So we all paid him back, but like from what I heard, not everybody paid him back. So like he still like lost money.
He ate a lot of that. But that's only because of the fact that, we had already been there for like a fucking month and a half.
Longer than any other unit there.
Longer than anybody else. We got there before everyone else, and we're fucking just totally miserable. And
we're in the middle. Like, let me put this in perspective for you guys. We are in the middle of a fucking mud pit. It's a rice paddy field that's made to retain water, right? And they're like, you know what? This
They
is
can
a good
sleep
place
there.
to stick India Company.
They can
This
sleep
is where
there.
you guys are
So
going.
how early were you guys there?
We were there 2 weeks before you guys got there.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
least.
Oh well, I was there.
Before the
I was there a
first
week
other-
early. I went Advon for that, but I was only a week early.
Yeah, so you would have arrived with us then.
Yeah.
No, we
Oh.
arrived before Advon. Yeah, no, so it was us and then Advon from the 3-3,
Yeah.
and then came the companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the Advon. Yeah, I was in the Advon.
Yeah, we did fucking 2 weeks there, which was fucking sweet, dude. I remember
At first it was nice. At
yeah,
first,
because
like,
it was just
no one
us
else there.
on the entire base.
We
And
were
I
out there,
remember
like,
yeah,
making
Jerry.
we made a baseball field. Like, we were just relaxing.
Yeah, Jerry we had a company movie night where he had Red Dawn, the 1980s Red Dawn with Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen. He had it on his phone, and we found a way. And Captain Voss was already there. He was like there with us. And like we managed to like go like rent we didn't have to rent it. I guess we just used like they had like a conference room or whatever that we were able to all pack in there and like play the movie on one night. It was super fucking dope. It was super dope. It was like
for that.
You weren't there for that?
No, at the time I was first platoon. We were in the middle of the fucking mountains, dude.
Oh yeah.
Adamas almost got eaten by a fucking bobcat.
Oh, bro.
Corporal Bell and our entire squad, we were about to I think we had 2 guys go down for hypothermia. We ended up like camping in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. And like then we took over this Korean compound. We just we're like, nobody's in here. We're staying here. It had heated floors. Like the entire time, like we were all fucking like shivering out of our minds, being hunted by recon. And we're just like, no, fuck this. We're not doing this anymore. The attack's not happening. We're not doing it.
Yeah.
So then we woke up to this angry Korean guy yelling at us to get out of here. And Lieutenant Venanti was just like, I don't speak Korean. Like, yeah, don't worry. Transpo's on its way. We're going. We're leaving. We're cleaning shit up. That night we had some guys. I guess the Green Berets were over there with the Korean Special Forces. They brought over some booze, and because the snipers were with us.
Yeah.
And so we were all just like having a nice powwow there. I was like, man, it's been such a shitty week that like this is just good. It just felt good.
Yeah. Yeah. We always got super lucky with our sniper teams.
Oh yeah.
They were always super fucking cool. Super dope.
Fucking Henry, dude. We got to get Henry on here.
Yeah, Henry's fucking dope. We had I think our first one, it was Vander and I think it was Vander because I know Sales was on the last one. It was Sales and Perez. I think Perez might have been
Perez, yeah.
And
Perez
then but then it was like I can't remember who was Vander's like point man or whatever they call her, spotter. I can't remember, but dude, they were fucking super dope, super cool, like super friendly. Was always like willing to like teach like the rest of headquarters like shit. Like they'd be like, hey man, like how about you try this? How about you try that? Like I never had an experience with them that was like negative in the sense where they thought they were like better than everybody else.
Yeah, no, especially with like, headquarters. I'm not sure what the relationship was there. I didn't really, but as far as the line, we were like, yo, yeah, snipers are like badass and shit, but they came off as just like, hey man, same shit. Like we're one of you guys. Don't worry about it. And it was just super chill being with them. Like,
they didn't have any inflated egos. They were like, they're like, we don't even need to. You guys already know that we're doing badass shit. Like we don't even need to try to act like we are. Yeah,
which I feel like is such a contradiction to like the perception of people that are like considered. I mean, they're not necessarily considered like SF, but like, you're on a sniper team. Like that's pretty badass. Like I think everyone has some kind of romantic fantasy of being a sniper.
Well,
like,
I mean,
it's just
everybody's heard of a scout sniper. You know, what I mean?
Like a scout sniper.
Like, first thing you think, scout sniper.
And even if you're just a pig, like even if you're not a hog yet, if you're just a pig, like
you know the difference, dude.
You're doing you're doing a little bit more work than everybody else, and that kind of sucks. But like you're literally getting hands-on fucking training to like what you like aspire to be, and like they want you to succeed because they don't want to send someone to sniper school that's just gonna fucking fail. They don't want to waste those spots. So they're like, they're fucking hazing the shit out of you majority of the time, but at the same time, it's like they're actually instilling like a lot of these like their principles and shit into you to make you successful, to help you be successful.
having them attached to our squad was dope. Like Vander wasn't there. It was like Perez and 3 other guys, and like the third squad of first platoon, first squad of first platoon. And we were just in the middle of nowhere, dude, being hunted by recon. Yeah. And Gunner Prosciutti shows up one day and he's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" Just walks up out of nowhere. We're like, "Dude, where'd he come from?" He's all gillied up and shit. And we're like, "Yeah, what the fuck?"
Prosciutti's a badass.
Yeah, we killed like 3 recon guys. They're like, he's like, "What?" Like, "Yeah, well, we squad him with the scope." And we got like pictures from like the phone. Like they would take a picture of the scope and you could see like this plain as day like guy. And we're like, "Well, the only guys up there are recon." So he's like, tight. And I guess he ripped him a new one. It was funny because he was in charge of training those guys before he was transferred to India, or 3-3.
There's a little clip. There was a clip that was going around H&S of like him. A lot of people said he fucked the reporter. I believe it. But the dude's a badass. Fucking yeah, Rashid was
send that to me. I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah,
like people carrying boats and shit, and him talking about it. And stuff.
He's talking about like how he's like was in charge of like the training or whatever at the recon.
I think there's a video online of him doing all that stuff.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, he's fucking.
Find that, send it to me.
Yeah. He's a badass.
I talked to him. He's actually the one who got me to go up to ITB over here.
Yeah. You guys didn't. I'm not sure if you guys heard about this. Aaron, you could tell him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I shared it. I might be wrong. But shortly after moving out here to San Diego, he and I got in contact, and he's like, "Hey man, you want to help facilitate training at ITB?" And I was like, "Yeah," like hell yeah. So I drove up about an hour away from where I am up to Camp Pendleton, and it was the weirdest thing, like going back to ITB,
as a veteran.
Shit.
Yeah.
First stop I made was Porter's. It's like a Mexican taco truck, but they make like the biggest burritos. So I got I think they called it 80 millimeter. It was or some shit like that. And it's like as big as my thigh, dude. And it's like, it's supposed to be the size of a fucking like a quarter shell. Yeah.
An 80 mic.
Yeah, dude. And that shit was insane. And I was like, dude, this is just how I remember it. I showed up in like civvies. So I guess the guys at the taco truck thought I was like, some fucking high up, whatever.
I'm thinking of like, 81s. It's an 81. 81. Yeah. I'm sitting here stoned. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not 80s. Like,
I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
something seems off. I was like, I feel like a fraud
81s.
Right now.
It was 81s.
Yeah, 81s.
Sorry, I'm a little out of knowledge, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so I show up,
right?
And the guys at the taco
truck, what's that?
Like, oh, we're talking to some big dude.
Yeah, it is West Coast.
This is West Coast?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Though.
Dude, that one taco truck out of the fucking training area.
Yeah, you mean like back by the chow hall, there's a MCX there, like a little tiny PX. Not like a real PX, but like a 7-day.
So there is the 7-day, there is the chow hall, but then this one is like right across from Verizon Hill. It's like there's a Domino's, there's like
I know what you're talking about.
Verizon users have reception, Verizon Hill, and then there's like this taco.
You're a Hollywood Marine, Jack?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we got even odds. We got even odds here. Yeah.
So after that, I was like, oh yeah, can I get some of that green sauce? This guy gives me a fucking plastic baggie full of their fucking green sauce, which is legendary. And I was like, that's my man right there. Anyways, roll up to the range with Gunner Prosciutti. He's like, leave your car here. We're going to roll onto the range in his fucking Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
We take that shit all the way down. And I just see fucking PFCs all fucking, they're fresh ass camis. And it's like, yeah, this is week 2 for them, this and that. They're just facilitating. It's like, this is what we're thinking. Bro, they've got new fucking optics. They're borderline scopes now on their IARs. They've got like 4 different types of magnification. The IARs, which we thought were all badass, are like souped up with all this other shit. I'm like, dude, this is insane. And I had this gunny. He's like, hey, man, you want to pop off a couple rounds? And I look up to this guy, like stars in my eyes, like, fuck yeah, gunny. So here I am with my fucking khakis, my polo, some Vans, and some shades with my long ass hair blowing in this wind. Like
Fabio.
I look to my left and I look to my right. And I see all these fucking PFCs all kitted out. I'm like, dude, like, this is weird, but I fucking love it. So you just hear me go, and you just hear ding, ding, ding in the background. I'm like, doesn't get better than that.
Good. Feels so good. That's one thing that we talked a little bit about this. And Jack, this is something I wanted to ask you is like, what have you found since you've been out to be helpful to like, just adjusting back to civilian life? You and I talked a little off air about like jobs and stuff. So what has helped you since you've been out?
Oh God. Really just finding something that you can sort of get into. Like at first I was trying to do this retail job at Dick's Sporting Goods. Like I was trying to be a cashier and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have these just weird ass people just talking mad shit.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I want to jump over this counter and literally kill you.
Yeah.
And I'd be standing there like, I not only can I not do that, I have to just stand here and take this and still be respectful, even though these guys are disrespecting the hell out of me.
Yeah. And did you work a job prior to getting into the Marines, or was the Marines technically like your first job?
Oh, see, no, I guess it was like the first paper job, like where I was getting a W-2.
Oh, okay.
But from the age of 13, I worked as a caddy over the summers, like pulling 16-hour days as a caddy.
Yeah.
Like I was no stranger to work, but it was my first
quick.
time getting a W-2 because I didn't get one as a caddy.
Yeah.
Man, this motherfucker has been investing all his money.
Yeah.
Like constantly. All right. Man.
Thanks to you, man. You got me into all that shit.
I know, but if you don't mind sharing, how much you got in just your Robinhood right now?
Oh, like 160.
Like once, like 160,000.
Yeah.
How much did you start off with, like when you first started investing?
I mean, probably in the first couple months because I was slowly adding. Like I probably had maybe $5,000 in there in my first couple months of just adding what I had saved.
And you grew that to 160K.
Yeah, I mean it's not all, or like a lot of it's just straight up me adding money, but
yeah,
I mean there's definitely some solid gains in there.
What's your
like I'm not like one of those guys on Wall Street bets who lost like every penny they have because they tried to buy options on Tesla or something.
Yeah.
How much are you getting in dividends like quarterly right now?
Probably how much you guys get in disability.
0%. Hell yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah. It's like give or take 1 or 2 basis points. It's like 5% on that 160. So it's it's compounded monthly, so it's like probably around 700. Oh, which is probably like what you guys are getting in disability, right? Or you get more.
I get more.
I get more.
Okay. I thought you were saying you were getting like 686 or something.
Oh, if you were at like 40%. I was originally at 40%, and then I jumped up to 60.
Oh, nice.
I missed all that, dude. I still got fucking glass in my right eye and shit. But fucking
you're what, Aaron? What percentage you at?
0, dude.
Because what the fuck,
so bro? One of the MEs or the MO, I'm not gonna drop a name, but she actually wrote on the thing like, yes, this said name Marine has glass in right eye, but does not affect his work, whatever, all good to go. And I'm like, really?
You can still contest that. Yeah.
Like being out for over a year.
Take that shit to court.
Yeah, now you don't even have to. Like you literally just take it there and just be like when you have your appointment and just be straight up. Yeah, just tell them like, yeah,
just call them out on their bullshit.
I've been here for a year and a half, and I still haven't had my first fucking appointment.
Dude, you have to. Yeah. Did you already file? Did you file though or no?
I mean, like it's with the VA. So originally I was with Michigan, right? And so they saw me, and then I moved to San Diego. They moved all my records, and like every time I try to go in, they're like they schedule me like 3 months out, 4 months out. I call them, they're like, oh, sorry, there's no appointment listed. We're moving areas or we're moving locations. I'm like,
you're in California VA, I feel like is probably the worst in the country.
Dude, motherfuckers blowing their head off on the parking lots at California fucking VAs.
And like every time I fucking start the call, like every single time they're like, if you are having suicidal thoughts, yada, yada. I'm like, hey, that's great. You're putting it in there. Yeah. But you keep running me around circles. I wasn't thinking about being suicidal before, but I sure as hell am now.
Yeah,
you know
dude. That's
dumbasses.
Dude.
Like no disrespect to VA, like they do a really good job, but when they fuck up, it takes forever. Like even my most recent one,
that's a bureaucracy for you though,
dude. My BAH is supposed to be 2850 out here, like it's really good BAH, but my last check, right, they cleared for 900, and I was like, where's the difference here? Like, what's missing? So like, oh,
But did they
well,
prorate you?
they
Did they
registered-
prorate you for the like the month? Because I know if I like say my classes end like in December, they end like the 18th. So like they
so
don't
that
pay me
shouldn't
the
make that
full
big of a
BH
difference.
for the month.
The issue is they wrote in that I was taking an online course. So right now, schools in California
That's why.
are in person, or
They
they're
changed
online.
it. They changed it back.
So they're for over here, it's still like the courses you take are still online,
Yeah.
but they count it as in person as long as you register for on campus. So
Yeah,
for whatever
yeah.
reason, they put online for mine. So they gave me the national average of $900 instead of the $2,850. And I'm over here like, okay, so like, how do we do this? You know, I'd asked them like 2 weeks ago, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll send it in this and that. They send it over, and they're like, sorry, we don't know if we can actually do this. Like, we don't know if we can actually get you the money that you're entitled. I'm like,
dude,
you understand how hard it is to live out here? Like, excuse me?
Yeah, that ain't easy out there. That's a rough place to live.
Yeah,
I'm really
I'm glad
cost-wise.
I'm not out there. But the VA did fuck me over in that regard, where I was like, like they sent me that email. They're like, hey, like this coming semester, we're not gonna pay you like your full BAH unless you fucking like take some classes in person now. And I'm like, okay, bitch, like what the fuck? So I slaved over a couple days, dude, like trying to put a schedule together that like fit for me, like try to get all my classes in like 2 days because I work like
My
other 2
school
days.
doesn't offer on site classes. So like all I have to do to
What are you
be
like, University of
on-site-
Phoenix?
National University.
National University. Oh,
yeah,
that's probably
so-
why.
No, but like it's fine. Like it's fine as long as like now they have a program like if your classes aren't in person, all you have to do is like send like a text through this VA automated fucking messaging like yes, I'm still taking classes on site. And like one day out of the month I got to go in and be like, "Hey, I'm here."
Chris, are you ever going to use your GI Bill?
See, I'm in the IT field, so
yeah, you don't necessarily need it.
Yeah, it's not really like degrees don't. I mean, they help out, yeah, but they want to see like certs. They want to have you like CCNA, like Sec Plus, Net Plus, stuff like that. But degrees do help. But I got my job based purely off of just my experience in the Marine Corps with no certs or anything. So it's an experience thing too. So a lot of jobs will say like a 2 years associates or 4 years bachelor or like 6 years of experience. Yeah. So you could have like one of those and qualify for the job.
Yeah. So do you think you'll ever just fucking use it just for shits and gigs or no? Because even if you just, they'll still pay you. Even if you just take one class, bro. Even if you just take one class, they're still gonna pay you, and you can just, just take shit to, fucking pick up a hobby or something,
Oh yeah. I was thinking about like just getting like so what's it called? Man, I'm a little high.
What, the associates?
Prereqs.
Oh, prereqs, gen eds. Yeah.
General eds.
Yeah. I think about going back and just doing that stuff, and then maybe using it later on. But you can pass it on to your kids too, so you never know.
Can you now? I think. What are the requirements?
No, you have to be in for more than one enlistment to do that.
Yeah, it's 7 years.
Sure you have to retire to do that.
I think it's 7 years, or you have to be staff.
What?
Damn.
No, I heard that.
I'll use it sometime.
What?
Well,
no,
unless they changed it.
Yeah, unless they changed it.
Yeah, I thought under the Trump administration, it was like, hey, as long as you've served your 4 years, you rate your GI Bill. If you don't use it, there's no time limit on it expiring to pass.
I think they got rid of the time limit, but I'm not sure if you're like able to pass it though. That's something I guess I would definitely have to look into. Not that I don't give a shit like personally for me because I'm using mine, but definitely something to like really look into because I have no idea. I feel like they change now while you're in school. What I was saying earlier is like the fact that they made me like take on like in-person classes only for them to change it like a couple of days later and say, oh no, now we're extending the benefits. You're allowed to take online classes and get the full BAH, but so
as long as registered as on site.
Yeah, exactly. And that specific course was changed online because of that. So that's what I've been doing, and it's fucking sweet. But
so explain the process of like using it. So like if I wanted to go to like the Jackson College here,
it's really fucking easy. So
there's a veterans representative at every college, and they'll have a like a veterans office.
VAs on.
And when you're registering, you just submit the paperwork.
Yeah.
And the representative that's assigned to you will just handle it for you. They're like, all right,
Really?
they'll keep in contact with you most of the time. They're like, yeah, we submitted this to the VA, everything looks good. And then you'll get an email from the VA saying, yeah, there's been a claim submitted. You're taking this amount of credit hours from this date to this date, which is basically the time you're going to get paid for.
Yeah, and they'll tell you how much you're getting paid too. So it's,
I mean,
yeah, the
I've had
VH is all relative to like
Wow.
where the schools, like where the school is located. Doesn't matter where you live; it's where the school is located.
exactly. So
Wow.
like my school, even though it's in San Diego, its headquarters is in La Jolla, which is significantly more expensive than where I'm living.
Yeah,
But so I get La Jolla BAH for where I'm at. But I would also, just because I've had so many issues, coordinate with the VA as well. Like, yes, the liaison sent it up, or I was supposed to have sent it up, but make sure you call the VA too. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but like having that reassurance, like, hey, like everything's like set, squared away. Like cover your own ass, right?
yeah. It's like I said, it's relatively easy. Just you literally fill out a form of. The form is literally just like your address, and it's through your school, so it's like official form through your school. So it has your school's address and all that shit on there. You put like your name, address, what semester you're applying for, like how many credits you're taking, and then you fucking sign it, and like that's it. But
if I can figure it out, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, and you have to do it before every semester, so you have to get approved before every semester. And now they're doing it. They just changed it this year, where you have to verify your enrollment every month. Luckily, you could do it by text message. They literally now they're going to be able to like to send you a text, like, hey, are you still enrolled this month? And you hit yes, and then your benefits will still continue on. But I mean, it's a sweet thing to use. Jack, what are you studying?
Well, like Chris said, I'm trying to get my gen eds out of the way. So
Yeah,
but I guess it's an associate in arts, because the school I'm going to is like, well, if you want to be a teacher, like that's what you need to like say you're doing.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm just going to a community college, so I'm trying to get some cheap credit. I mean, I don't know why I'm worried about cheap.
Yeah, they're paying for it.
It's local, right? It's local, which doesn't even matter now because it's all online anyway. So that's why I'm like, you know what? This is my last year here. Next year I want to go to a school in the city, Chicago. I got a lot of friends that live there. I'm trying to move down there at some point.
Where are you now?
And then, just go to school there too. What?
Where are you now?
I'm in the suburbs right now, suburbs of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not in the city.
Iraq.
I was in Michigan over the.
It really is. It's gotten so much worse. Sorry, what about Michigan?
I was just there and actually took a trip down to Chicago. So had I known, we could have linked up.
Down the Chi-Town.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Yeah, I'm always down to go there. The problem is like I'm unvaccinated still, so I can't really do anything there right now.
By choice.
Unvaccinated swine.
Yeah, I can't do anything there now. My whole county is completely locked down. Like you can't go to any bars, you can't go to any restaurants.
You haven't seen anyone that we've served with since you got out, or no?
No, there's not even that many that live in Chicagoland. I mean, there's a few like
Ayala, right?
Ayala lives here. Yeah.
Oh, he was in St. Louis.
Now he lives in St. Louis. Yeah.
He hated Chicago. I had so many conversations with him when we were in. Like, man, I just miss Portillo's, Lou Malnati's. He'd be like, no, man, I don't miss any of it. I hate Chicago.
God
damn. Like, okay. He's like, I'm gonna re-enlist, and like, I'm not going back to Chicago. I hate that place.
What a random place too, St. Louis.
Must be better.
Overton near there?
No, Overton was. Where the fuck was Overton from, dude? Missouri. Oh my god, that dude was such a clown.
Missouri. I'm pretty sure.
It was in Missouri. That dude was such a fucking clown. I remember when I was platoon. Remember they made me platoon sergeant for a little bit, like right before our second deployment. This motherfucker, dude. Now I was like that was one of the reasons why I was like, man, there's no way I could be responsible for people like him when I'm like, if I ever like picked up. I was like, nah, man, can't do it. Because like this dude was such a fucking liability, and I thought I was a liability.
You were a fucking liability. What do you mean?
Yeah, I was a huge liability, but I had the confidence within myself to know that I didn't take it too far. Like I knew which buttons to push at a certain time where I knew I was gonna get away with it. Overton was just a fucking belligerent idiot, and I remember he called me. He called me. he called me because he was driving someone else's car that had registered tags, and was like,
I remember that.
Oh my god,
I remember that. That was
I
the
just
biggest thing
remember
that
having
week.
to call first sergeant, and like then first sergeant's talking to me like I mean, first sergeant and I had a great fucking relationship, but like you knew when it was like business, you know, and business and like friendly. So like
that was Moon, right?
Yeah, fucking best fucking superior I think I ever had in the Marines.
Yeah, for Sergeant Moon.
Yeah,
Badass.
and
Absolute badass.
yeah, and fucking like, and he's treating me like he's treating all the other sergeants and shit, like all the other staff sergeants and shit, like just the platoon sergeant. He's like, well, what the fuck you gonna do about it, Moss? Like how are we gonna fucking fix this problem? Like all this shit with Overton. And I'm like, oh fuck. And remember, Pada, there was a time where they were like considering kicking him out of headquarters and sending him back to a platoon. And like just right before we deployed, dude, he was driving someone else's fucking car. They had expired tags. And then they're like, hey, you need to find a place to park your car. The motherfucker parks it right in the garage by the comm shop, bro, by the old comm shop. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, like you're going to leave it in the parking garage where you know that shit gets fucking towed. Like, you know, it's going to get fucking towed.
Oh, you mean behind the second CP of ours? Right?
Yeah. Our second CP. And I'm like, dude, what you're killing me with that shit.
And like we told him, we were told we're not to park it, right?
Yeah.
We were told,
they
hey,
literally
don't
said,
park it here,
don't fucking park it
and
there.
don't park here.
Yeah. And I remember first someone asked me whatever happened to the car, and you know, and I would always take one for the Marines, dude. I would always take one for my Marines, and I was like, he got rid of it. Like, as far as I know, he doesn't have it anymore.
It could be in Schitt's Creek for all I know.
Yeah. I mean, so much bulls of shit, so many bulls of shit for other people in the Marine Corps. Like the loyalty really runs.
Not me though, piece of shit.
I never really had to cover for you.
No.
I don't think I've ever had to cover for you.
Maybe that one time in Korea when I didn't show up.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I mean, but other than that, I never really had to cover for you.
Or no, Australia had to cover for me once.
Yeah, I remember Jack almost had to. I mean, he was basically covering me. I was sleeping on his floor after he moved in with Evan.
Oh, that was never a problem.
Yeah,
you were always just pissed drunk, and you just like passed out. It's like you
functioning alcoholic.
You'd walk in like Weiss would literally walk you in like an old lady.
Yeah,
you'd say some funny shit, and you just crash. And
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe you pissed that thing, but probably a few times.
Yeah,
like in the state you were in, but it was never an issue.
Yeah,
then you just like sleep in too. So like I'd be getting up early for stuff, and then you just like you'd
literally sleeping on the fucking hard ass barracks floor with the ISO mat and literally like the whoopee. Like that's what I was like sleeping on because I was like having like problems with my ex, and I was like I fuck this, I'm not living here. I was like, I can't fucking be in the same house as you right now. I just literally threw all my clothes and my uniforms in my trunk. And I texted Evan and I was like, dude, he's like, I have a roommate now, but like, he's like, it's cool if you stay here. And I was like, fuck it, I'll go stay in the bricks for. I wasn't there that long. I think I was like 2 weeks or something. But
no. Let me say this. I remember when this was going on, Weiss like he literally sat me down like a dad. He's like, hey, I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going on with Maz.
Yeah.
And so he walks me through everything, and he's like, now I told him he could stay here for the night, however long he needs. And I was like, by the time he walked me through everything that was going on, I was like, that is completely fine with me.
Yeah.
Like, let him stay here. I don't care if he's a terrible roommate. Just get him out of there. That's a pretty bad environment.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
but we got you out of there, and it was never an issue.
I'm glad I fucking got out of there, dude. Because I was probably gonna catch a case if I fucking stayed there, dude. She would have been a cold case file. If I would have.
That's what we were worried about, man. That's what we were worried about.
Dude, but I don't think you ever grew out of that though, man.
I remember the
local
hothead.
barracks hobo. I was going from room to room to sleep in beds.
Yeah, I was never like that. What were you saying, Chris?
Maz, what about that fucking? What was that outside of Kelly's? You and some fucking random chief warrant officer were fucking just screaming.
Oh, Aaron was telling that story on the last episode. He told that story. Yeah, it was fucking. That was a wild
like,
time.
that was
Like,
wild.
dude, but
I remember
that's
grabbing you and you just like fucking hit everybody, bro, going
yeah.
crazy.
But luckily, I had some loyal ass motherfuckers in Arco and Lupercio, and when they got questioned about it, they covered for me. They were like, "Oh, I don't even like know who that guy was. Like he was just with us that night and shit." So luckily that worked out. But yeah, man, it was a fucking experience, especially having like, I mean, I had Weiss was like my roommate for majority of my career, and he's such a fucking fantastic roommate. Like, I know he was like, he never let me drink in the room when I was underage. Did he ever let you drink in the room?
He didn't care for me.
Yeah,
That's
I was
funny.
so pissed
He was
when he
just
told
like,
me
"Do
that. I
what
was
you
so
gotta do,
pissed.
man." He was so funny though. I remember what he would like. I'd hear him talking in his he would hide his East Coast accent around the shop. I swear to God. When he was talking to his people back home, he had a full blown like New Jersey, straight up New Jersey accent.
And it would
He was
disappear.
talking,
It
like,
would disappear.
what?
Yeah, it would
the moment they
disappear,
hung
and the
up.
contract would be like, "Hey guys, what's going on?"
Yeah.
What?
Salutations.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a whole different thing when he would talk to his people back home. It was so funny.
No
And I
kidding.
remember one time he goes to the commissary and I'm like, "Oh, what you got there?" He pulls out a box of grape nuts. He's like, "I was talking to my mom. She says like I could eat these grape nuts. They're really good for you." So you just hear him like it's like a chipmunk eating. I mean, it's just like absolute crunch.
Yeah.
And you'd be hearing him eating it at like midnight, just like watching a video, watching whatever on his
Just loud as fuck.
just eating grape nuts, and
Dude.
like that was his thing for a while. He went on like because he was trying to lose weight, or he was like he got really into working out. He got in really good shape.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, it's a health food, grape nuts," and he's just like, for the next 3 months, he's just eating grape nuts like nonstop.
I feel like he was the dad of the group. I mean, I didn't have very many conversations with him, but the few I did, I was like, I don't know why we don't hang out more often. Like,
yeah, definitely the dad of the group for sure. Like he's a fucking funny guy. That dude cracks
and
me
smart as
up.
fuck.
Yeah.
Dude had a master's.
Yeah, master's.
And he was
a really good job before he enlisted.
Yeah, a really
like
good
he left
too.
a really really good job.
Yeah. The fucking
like,
slum it out. Slum it out with us, with us degenerates. We degenerates.
Honestly.
Dude, and then like I'd hear him like anytime we'd have like a battalion like formation in the theater or something like that, they'd open it up to questions, and I'd always hear him ask something. I'm just like, that's a really good question. Yeah. And then like he'd stump everybody, and they'd just be like, "Moving on, next question. I'll get back to you on that," or some shit like that.
Yeah, that dude was
fucking
like he was belligerent, but he was smart about how he was belligerent, and it was just like, you can't take it away. You asked him for it.
Yeah, like, he is very quick to find. I wouldn't say like flaws, like I would say holes in your argument.
Oh yeah,
like he fucking like just. He's such a master of the English language, is what it is.
Me and him would talk talk shit to each other, and he'd just like destroy me like so politely.
Yeah,
like, fuck you, man.
Yeah, he's a master of the English language, where it's just like, I can't believe like what he just said. It was either a scientific diagnosis or he just insulted me, kind of thing. Like that's kind of like what it sounds like. It's like almost talking to like Sherlock Holmes or somebody like sometimes.
That's a really good way of putting it. He's a master of the English language.
He
truly
was. Can rap though. He
can spit bars.
Oh yeah, no, I remember his girlfriend. His girlfriend. He had me record a video of him rapping to his girlfriend, and he got done with it, and I was like, "Dude, this is like, are you reading off something?" I'm like, "Dude, there's like a 3-minute rap for his girlfriend."
Huge
like
hip hop
fan. Of his head.
Huge hip hop fan.
Perfectly.
Oh, he would freestyle in the shop all the time.
Yeah, dude would spit fucking bars. Him and I, we joked around because both like my dad's Jewish and his parents are Jewish. We used to call ourselves like the sons of David, and we would like we'd spit bars together in the room and shit, and it's so fucking funny. And his name was Frankie Bankrolls. And I'm pretty sure mine was like Bollywood, because I'm not even Indian, but like one of his friends would always comment. She called me the big Indian. She said I look like a big Indian dude.
I take offense to that.
And, right. So yeah, we would fucking spit bars all the time. Huge hip hop fan. Like like die hard hip hop fan. I mean, his first tattoo when I was like, because when I started getting, was the Wu-Tang Clan tattoo on his shoulder, and that's the same day I got the one on my forearm, one of the many ones on my forearm, and because I was finally like I was just conditioning him basically, like when we started rooming together in comm school. I was like, dude, you should get a fucking tattoo. You should get a fucking tattoo. You should get a tattoo. And then finally he like texted me one day. He's like, dude, I'm gonna get a fucking tattoo. And I was like, we're going together. And I was getting tattooed, and like he was facing me, so we were facing each other like as we're getting tattooed. And it was the romance. Yeah, right. We shared that moment together. We looked into each other's eyes. Your old man. Yeah, and I'll never fucking forget it. He's like, and he's wearing like a basketball jersey too. You know how he used to like rock the basketball jerseys. So he's fucking
he like those.
Yeah. So he's getting tatted up, and we're talking, we're shooting this shit. And he's like, it's not really that bad, because he hates needles, absolutely hates needles. And he's like, dude, this is not that bad at all. Like it feels actually like, kind of good or whatever. And then he looks down, and then he sees the needle, and dude, like pale, flushed, just like all the blood just like left this dude's head. And I was like, hey man, are you all right, dude? And then the fucking tattoo guy like looked at him. He's like, oh, he's like, are you okay, my guy? And then Evan's like, I think I might need a second. He's like, yeah, I think you do. And then the guy came back, the tattoo artist came back with like a Snickers bar for him, and like got him a Snickers bar. Like, yeah, to get some sugar in them and stuff. And dude, it was fucking funny. And then he finished out that tattoo.
Such a good,
and then when they went to the Marawi or whatever it's called, when he went, he like had some dude finish off like almost like his entire half sleeve, which is pretty cool. And I was like, damn, this dude's like 30, 32, 33, and he was fucking getting yadded up out there, that
was his first tattoo at 32, 33.
Yeah. Wow. And it's a Wu-Tang tattoo from a dude who has a master's in like social work, like administration. Like is the master in the English language, fluent in Spanish also, like and he just
that always amazed me.
Yeah it's like the dude is literally like those old commercials, those old fucking commercials, the most interesting man, the Dos Equis one.
Yeah.
I mean, literally Weiss. He could. You'd be like, how are you doing like all this different stuff? Like, how do you know all this like perfectly, all this different stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Truly like a jack of all trades.
Yeah. The one thing is I will take credit for that I taught him. I taught him how to pump gas.
Hey,
because they got attendance in Jersey. They got attendance. They don't let you pump your own gas.
Yeah, there. I taught him how to pump gas.
I remember us going out
Chris,
first like week. Yeah, I was with you.
Yeah, Chris was with us. Like we were in the car, and Evan, I think I had to drive Evan somewhere. He needed to go somewhere, and every time he always needed a ride somewhere. He'd always like insist that he paid for gas.
So he got blue best.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's official now.
Right.
To all the viewers out there, like, we have failed you if you don't get Evan on the show. We've hyped this man up so much now on a video that was.
Oh, he said he's interested.
Mahon.
Yeah, he said he's interested. I talk to him all the fucking time.
I'm just not gonna say shit when he's on. I'm just gonna say listen to him.
When he's on.
yeah. Everyone just it should be a lecture. We just
first listen to him.
Dude, have a lecture
for real.
Yeah. Yeah, and and then Chris was there, and I had to drop him off somewhere, and then he was like, I'll pay for gas. And then I was like, okay. So I stayed in the car, and he got out, and he was like, how do you do this? And I was like, what? He's like, I've never had to pump gas a day in my life. I was like, are you fucking serious? So I got out and taught him how to pump gas, man. It's like teach a man to fish, feed himself for the rest of his life.
Put the stick in the hole.
But he was really an old man though. Like he just technology. I don't think he was the biggest technology guy.
Yeah.
Like besides, I mean, obviously he was really good at his job as a radio operator. But I think like anything computer wise, he's just like, I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah. He was so fucking funny. Like when we first got to the fleet, and it was just me, him, Lou Percio, and Andrew. We were fucking like the first boot drop that year. And we used to have a corporal that used to come by like every fucking field day and just lecture us. It was like just sit there. We'd literally be sitting there for like an hour and 45 minutes. dude, about fucking anything, bro, about like the Marine Corps and shit like that. And we're just like, oh my God. Like on field day, after you just spent all this, like your whole day is ruined because you're fucking cleaning in your boots. So you have to clean like even more than you would normally. And then like on top of that, like then you have some fucking dickhead that really doesn't, he's like the most hated dude in the shop, yet he's like trying to be a mentor to you. So it was like, what the fuck was going on? But Evan would just like straight up ignore him, dude. Like act like he didn't even fucking existed in the room. He'd be on his laptop, just like fucking typing away, just like doing shit. Like while this dude's like talking to us, and we're basically sitting there, and like the guy was such a bitch. Like he never wanted to fucking like say anything to Evan, and Evan got treated that differently because of that. So
you know, when I was a boot still living with him, I obviously still had, you know, I had field day inspections and they were rough ones. And my NCOs would come in and I'd tell them beforehand, I'm like, yeah, so like my NCOs are coming through, like, I don't know what you want to do. And he's like, oh, I'm just going to do my thing. And he'd be sitting there just like eating his snack, like doing whatever, like on his laptop, just like making up conversation with them while they're just like roasting my room, my whole room. They're like, yeah, you're gonna redo this, like we'll be back in 20 minutes. And he's just like, all right, see you guys. And meanwhile he's like not exactly contributing to the cleanliness of the room. He's just still living like how he normally would. He's like, I'm just gonna throw this here, I'm gonna like, my towel's going up. Like,
dude, he would never clean field day. He wouldn't give a shit. He would just be like,
yeah, I remember he told me, he's like basically he's like, straight up, I don't give a shit about field day. Like, do what you got to do, but like, I'm not participating. I don't care if your NCOs come through.
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna do my thing. You do yours.
Yeah. He's like, I'm a grown ass man. I'm a grown ass man.
Exactly.
I'm not fucking.
And
I'm
people knew that too. People knew that.
Yeah.
Like there were 20-year-old sergeants who were just like, or maybe 21-year-old sergeants who were just like, yeah, he's obviously like way more experienced in life than we are. We're not going to try to talk shit to him. He knows how to live. Like he's done it very well to this point, way longer than we have. So we're just going to let him do his thing. Like that's how everyone was. Like even the staff, they're just like, Weiss is his own person. Like they talk to him like a civilian, honestly. Like it's almost like he was just there.
They talked to him like a peer.
Yeah, they did. They did. And
he was the same age as a lot of the staff.
And they're impressed by him. Like they're genuinely impressed.
I think the reason why they did talk to him like that is because just how like intelligent it was and how he was and how he carried himself and stuff and everything.
Yeah. We keep saying like he was
he was just
dead or something. He's still alive. He's still living.
He was. I was.
I hope. Fuck. No, but like I mean, it was similar to us too because we would have junior Marines in our rooms, depending on what the barracks layout was. The barracks layout in Hawaii is awful. So like I had a junior Marine in my room, Williams. You remember him, Moss?
Yeah.
And I remember when my peers would come in to police him, and he was a shitbag. And like eventually, I kind of gave up on him. So I was like, "Hey, man, that's your half of the room. You stay on that half. Like, there's no reason why you should be on this half of the room. Period." And so they'd come in and they'd only inspect his half of the room, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I remember one day I was like, dude, it smells like piss in here. I guess this guy had like thought that I guess he was drunk as shit, and he thought that his wall locker was the bathroom. So he took a fucking piss in his wall locker the day before fucking room inspection. And he's like, what? Why does it smell so bad in here? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Did you piss in your fucking wall locker? He's like, no, I pissed in the bathroom last night. I was like,
I fucking hated him. I hated him so much.
I think he got kicked out, didn't he?
I hope so. There was rumors that he was getting kicked out. I mean, I hope he got fucking kicked out. We can literally have a whole episode on that motherfucker, dude.
On him, we can have a whole episode on Ririk. We can have a whole episode on
Ririk.
I remember that guy. He was.
Everyone knew him.
I don't know how he didn't kill himself, man.
Just prone to shitting himself.
And not showering, dude. Like that's the biggest one. He had to get hosed down once.
I felt so bad for him though. Like he was, every time I saw him, he was the butt of some staff sergeant's joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like literally his life was just getting roasted. I was like, dude, I would be like in a terrible mental state if I was you. But this guy was just like, yeah, that's me. I'm Rear Rick. And he just like did his thing. And he just continued getting roasted. And he's like, yeah, whatever. It's just
Dude, sometimes we were just watching.
There's two Rear Rick things I'll say. And then we can start to wrap it up. The one Rear Rick one was when we were in Korea. Aaron, I know you fucking remember this. We kept ordering Tipsy Cow, right? And he would never throw the trash out. That he would stuff his fucking tent with the trash until one day
the trash,
one day his fucking platoon sergeant saw it and freaked out.
Gunny Harrington.
Yeah, and Gunny Harrington. Yeah, Gunny Harrington fucking.
Well, he was Staff Sergeant Harrington. He was his platoon sergeant at the time.
Yeah, like fucked his life up. Like was literally like throwing out the trash. Like it was a huge pile, like throwing it out of the tank. He's like, how the fuck are you living like this? Like all this shit. A little
bit of backstory there. Gunny, or at the time, Staff Sergeant Harrington was the most chill person you would ever meet. You would never see this guy get mad.
He was super chill.
Yeah.
He walks in and sees Rierik's rack because he's up towards like the front of the hooch, right? But like Rierik's in towards the center to the back.
Yeah.
He walks over and finds a mountain of trash in his pack, around his cot, stacked under, like everywhere. There's probably some shit in his boots.
Yeah.
And like you just see like Harrington, he literally looks at him, looks at the trash, looks up and goes and fucking starts freaking out. His face turns like 3 different shades of red and everyone just like stops. Like we all just sit up, like some of us are reading books, fucking whatever. We just like stop and like watch the show and like start dodging this trash that's being flung all around this fucking hooch. And we're all just like, what the fuck? Oh, dude, it was bad.
Yeah. And then the other one is when we were in Thailand. The other one was when we were in Thailand and he made out with the tranny and was totally convinced it wasn't a tranny. He was like, and somebody caught it on video and they're like, their necks are extended while they're making out. And you can just see this bitch's Adam's apple. Just like, dude, it was like a Dorito chip that was like stuck in her throat. That's how big that thing was, bro. It was, and he's like, dude, it wasn't a fucking man. Like it wasn't a dude. I'm like, everyone was like, dude, it was a fucking man.
He took him to the back too, like to the back.
He
and
fucked the tranny.
We don't know what happened after that, but
But yeah, because he was bragging about getting pussy, and then like it that was the dude. You got bussy is what you got. You
got to be real careful in those countries, man. You got to be real careful. There
was one other one about rear, and this is the only one. It was we had just done a hike, or no, we had come back from a field op, and then we did a hike right afterwards. And Ririk hadn't showered for the 2 weeks of the field op, or the day after, or throughout the hike. Fucking Lieutenant Venancio and his team leader literally took him out to the fucking pond and hosed him down. Like it got to the point where like his team leader was in charge, Kelly, you remember, was in charge of making sure he brushed his teeth, making sure he took a shower. He would have to report when he took a shower and when he brushed his teeth. His roommates would have to fucking verify that shit for him. Like literal babysitting. And you're like, okay, now I understand why they treat us like children. Now I understand why some of these dumbass rules exist. It's because of people like him.
Yeah. People like
and
him.
It's sad, man.
Yeah.
You know, I went like over a month in Korea not showering.
Me too.
Because I was like, I'm gonna embrace the funk. Like I'm still gonna hygiene. I'm not gonna like not brush my teeth.
I'll baby wipe.
Not baby wipe down. Yeah, I'm obviously baby wiping. I'm like I'm gonna get an infection if I don't baby wipe.
Yeah. I mean,
so I'm still doing. Bro,
it wasn't you, dude. It was your fucking camis, bro.
No, dude. Yeah. Luke. I think he was still a lieutenant. Boss. He takes me aside.
I think it was captain.
Maybe he was newly promoted captain. Yeah. He takes me aside. He's like, "Yeah, you're a little sour, man. I think you need to go shower." And at that point, I was like, "Yes, sir." Like he was the one guy who I was like, if he calls me out on something or if he tells me to do something, 100% I am doing it like that hour.
Yeah.
It is happening. Like it is getting done.
Yeah, great dude.
We didn't have showers for a month. So
yeah, we didn't have the showers and then by the time they put them there was no hot water.
Right.
And it was like fucking 20 degrees outside. I'm like, what the
like, nope.
No, I'm not showering. Like I'll baby wipe, but I'm
that was what was stopping me. I'm like, first of all, it's like a 2-mile walk to get there. I'm not walking 2 miles in my shower shoes, or like,
Yeah.
you know, you have to like wear your camis to get there and then strip down and like bring your shower shoes.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like way more effort. I'm like, I'd rather just embrace the funk, just get
Yeah.
used to smelling like shit. Cause I'm like, if we ever end up like having to go someplace like where shit really sucks, I'm like, probably have to do that anyway. So
Yeah.
might as well get a little training in, you know?
Yeah. A little train.
That's one way to look
Well,
at it.
yeah. Well, we'll wrap it up there. I would want to thank you, Jack, for coming on, being our first guest. It's fucking
you, Jack.
super dope.
My pleasure. My
Yeah.
absolute pleasure. It was great to see you guys.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to ask you is like do you have any advice for anybody who's a veteran? Just any advice for something that's worked out for you?
I mean, just keep your head up. Like, honestly, it's like for people who are just getting out, especially, like, it's really intimidating. And when you first get out, it's almost like you're just dropped in an unknown, like you're trying to relearn. You're trying to relearn everything. Like, don't feel pressure to get like basically don't feel pressure to be successful right when you get out, because you're not going to be most of the time, unless you're getting out as, you know, some crazy MOS that has like awesome transferable skills, which kind of was where I was at. But just take it slow. Like, use your benefits. You know, again, take it slow. Maybe you have to get a part-time job like me or Moss, you know.
Yeah.
But take advantage and enjoy your time as a civilian, because however bad it is, it's not as bad as the worst times when you're in, and you're going to remember the bad times as good times.
Yeah.
But in reality, they were bad times and it sucked. And now we can laugh at it because we're like, we were going through it together, but they were still bad times and they were terrible when they were happening. But now you're like joking about them, but they really sucked when they were happening. So, and stay in contact with people that you served with.
Big one.
That's the biggest thing.
Big one for sure. Well, here we are. You stuck with us all the way to the end. We thank you for listening. We want our listeners to know that if your pack becomes too heavy, don't drop it. The Veterans Crisis Hotline can be reached at 1-800-273-8255. If you'd like to enjoy more content, don't forget to subscribe, Semper Fi, and keep rolling on.
Yeah.
Take it easy, guys.
Yeah, of course.